Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday, the 3rd of June 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1 was a good day for the market, with the S&P ASX 200 closing up 0.8% to 7,761 points. Financials, utilities and property stocks did best, while the tech and telco indices went backwards. It was a day for the banks, with Westpac closing up more than 2%, while Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank and ANZ all jumped more than 1%. Goodman Group closed 2% higher, while WiseTech Global was down 1.5%. The big miners were mixed, while the insurers did well. QBE finished up 2.3%. IAG rose 1.5% and Suncorp was 1% higher. In corporate news, New Zealand dairy group Synlat's share price fell 2.3% after it warned of ongoing weak trading conditions and the risk it is unlikely to meet 3 of its current banking covenants at the end of next month. And APM Human Services closed up 10% after a deal to be bought by Chicago's Madison Dearborn Partners. Story number 2, OPEC Plus members have agreed to extend cuts in oil production, in some cases to the end of next year, as they battle to shore up prices amid weak global demand and increased supply from other parts of the world. At its latest biannual meeting, the cartel conceded that it had no room yet to change stance on output cuts that began about 18 months ago, pledging to keep more than 3 million barrels a day of crude off the market until the end of next year. What's that mean? Well, it pushes up oil prices, and that isn't good when you're buying petrol at the bowser. In currency markets, the Aussie dollar is trading around 66.5 US cents, while cryptocurrencies remain strong, with Bitcoin worth about 68,000 US dollars a unit. Story number 3, the Super Members Council of Australia is calling for an end to the ban on older Australians receiving contributions into retirement phase super accounts, arguing it penalises those dipping back into the workforce later in life. The industry super lobby group wants the federal government to lift the rules that forces working retirees to open a separate accumulation account to receive super contributions. Under the current rules, those working retirees then pay 2 sets of account fees, the one from the original stuff and the new account. They're often slugged with more taxes as well. It comes as new research shows 1 in 4 Australians continue to work into their early 70s, and the retirement of 2.5 million baby boomers is upon us. That'll happen over the next decade. That'll flood the retiree pool. Many of them will want to work again. The lobby group made the call as it announced its new chair, and Sherry AO will take over from interim chair Nicola Roxon, according to a report in The Australian. Story number 4, the chief executive of Smiggle has jumped ship and will run fast fashion jewellery chain Lovisa. In the retail world, there are some very high profile, very rich players, including Solomon Lew, who controls Premier Investments, the owner of Smiggles, and Brett Blundy, the person who launched Lovisa. Now, so John Cheston, currently at Smiggles, will take over at Lovisa. It follows Mark McGuinness, who is expected to take the top job at Myer, another Solomon Lew company. He opted to work for Mr. Blundy's empire instead. That's 2-0 to Mr. Blundy as far as I can make it. All this is happening as Premier looks to spin off Smiggles and Peter Alexander, the pyjama brand, on the stock exchange. To add to the story, the guy leaving Smiggles, Victor Herrero, is the second highest paid CEO on the ASX. Shareholders weren't fussed on all the changes today. Lovisa closed down 11% and Premier finished more than 3% lower. In story number 5, Rupert Murdoch has married for the 5th time, tying the knot with retired molecular biologist Elena Zakova. The 93-year-old Murdoch married the 67-year-old Zakova at his Californian vineyard. Last year, Mr. Murdoch was briefly engaged to a former police chaplain, and prior to that, he was married to former model Jerry Hall for 6 years. Anyway, good luck to Rupert Murdoch and Elena Zakova. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 3rd of June, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.